This is an excerpt from The Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King, Revelations, a discourse by Saint Germain. Call it what you will, the eternal truth remains that discord is another name for disintegration, a synonym for death. When mankind learns to live its life by the eternal law of love, it will find that such obedience will have released it from the wheel of birth and rebirth, and hence the problems of human existence will have disappeared. In their place will come the joy of ever expanding, the perfection which forever abides within love. Constant new creation will ever go on, for life is perpetual motion, and neither slumbers nor sleeps, but is ever and forever a sustained stream of expanding perfection, in joy, in ecstasy, and in eternally new design. This perfect activity and joy of life are all contained within obedience to the law of love. The last enemy, death, will disappear, for it is but a means of release from a garment that no longer has anything of value to give for the use of the perfection of life. When the physical body is so incapacitated that the personality occupying it can no longer make self-conscious effort to express perfection, then nature herself takes a hand in things and dissolves the limitation that the individual may have a new chance to make effort that is of benefit. Grief for the death of a loved one is selfishness, and but retards the greater good the loved one should be enjoying. Grief from a sense of loss is really rebellion against the action of a law that has seen fit to give another greater opportunity for rest and growth, because nothing in the universe goes backward, and all, no matter what the temporary appearance, is moving forward to greater and greater joy and perfection. The great God consciousness in us cannot and does not grieve, and the human part should know that, as no one can ever get out of this universe, he must be somewhere that is better than the place he has just left. If there is real, true, divine love, it can never cease to exist and must, sometime, somewhere, draw us to that which we love. In true divine love, there is no such thing as separation, and that which feels a sense of separation is not love. The sense of separation is merely one of the mistakes of the personal self, which it continues to dwell in, because it does not understand the nature of consciousness. Where the consciousness is, there the individual is functioning, for the individual is his consciousness. When one thinks of a loved one who has passed on, he is really with that one in his higher mental body, the moment his consciousness is upon the other person. If the Western world could understand this truth, it would lift the chains that cause such useless suffering. Such grief is all due to the fact that the personality, especially in the feelings, accepts the body as being the individual, instead of knowing that the body is only a garment which the individual wears. Over it, everyone should have complete and eternal dominion, and should exact perfect obedience at all times. If one really loves another, he wants that other to be happy and harmonious. If through so-called death an individual chose to accept a better chance for future expression, if there be the slightest spark of love, one should have no grief nor desire to hold that loved one in a state of incapacity, when he might go on to greater ease and freedom. It is the ignorance of this truth that enables such selfishness to keep humanity bound in its self-created chains of limitation. This sort of ignorance binds the life expression of the whole race, and is a stubborn refusal to understand life. It drags thousands of human beings every year into the depths of despair, wholly unnecessary and avoidable, when they could and should be enjoying happiness and living the way the mighty Iron Presence intended them to live. Such an attitude towards life not only prevents the accomplishment of everything worthwhile, but incapacitates the individual, and fills him with self-pity, one of the most subtle and insidious ways by which the sinister force breaks down his resistance and makes him negative. The individual must remain positive if he or she is to attain their victory and express mastery. The sinister force that humanity on this earth has generated uses this method to keep aspiring, marvelous individuals from gaining their freedom and using the full power of divinity, which has been theirs from the beginning, the gift of the Father to his children. Of all the faults humanity has generated, self-pity is the most inexcusable, because it is the apex of human selfishness. Through self-pity, the attention of the personal consciousness, or outer self, is entirely absorbed by the petty, puny, human, useless desires of the physical body, and the great, glorious, adorable, all-wise, all-powerful light of the mighty I Am Presence, always abiding above the physical body, is entirely ignored. Yet its energy is being used for this destructive purpose. Humanity cannot have anything better than it is experiencing today until it looks away from the little self long enough to acknowledge and feel the presence of God, the mighty I Am Presence, the source of every individual's life and of all perfect manifestation. Grief is colossal selfishness, not love. Discord is selfishness, not love. Lethargy is selfishness, not love, and not life. These sink the race into slavery because they break down the resistance of the individual by wasting the energy of life, which should be used for the creation of beauty, love, and perfection. This slavery continues because the outer activity of the personal consciousness does not make the necessary determined effort to free itself from the domination of the psychic world. The psychic stratum contains only those creations of humanity generated by the discordant thoughts, feelings, and words of the outer activity or personal consciousness. This means the daily activities of the mind, body, and feeling, with which the personality continues to entangle the creative expression of life. The entire race has become so bound by its own discord. The great, glorious, transcendent, ascended masters, out of sheer compassion for the slowness of mankind's growth and the misery of its degradation, offer to cut away the barnacles of the psychic plane and give humanity a new start. People are entertained, fascinated, and self-hypnotized by the various conditions of the psychic world. But I tell you, and I know both the inner and outer activities of life from the Ascended Master standpoint, that there is nothing good nor permanent within the psychic stratum. It is as dangerous as quicksand and just as independable. The psychic plane and the outer activity of the mental and emotional world, unless it reports perfection to you, are one and the same thing. It is entirely the creation of the human sense consciousness, and is but the accumulation of human thoughts and forms energized by human feelings. It contains nothing whatsoever of the Christ, the cosmic light. The desire for and fascination of psychic phenomena is a feeling, a very subtle feeling, by which it holds the attention of the personality away from the acknowledgement, the constant adoration, the continual communion, and the permanent acceptance of the individual's mighty I Am Presence. Attention to the activities of the psychic plane depletes the personal self of the energy and ability required to reach the God source and anchor there permanently. I tell you eternal truth when I say that nothing of the Christ comes from the psychic realm, regardless of any seeming evidence to the contrary, because the psychic or outer activity of the mentality is forever changing its qualities, while the Christ, which is the eternal light, is ever expanding perfection, the one, changelessly supreme, imperishable quality. It is because of the attention to the subtle fascination of the psychic plane that mankind is today as a mass of children needing so much help, and the wisdom of the Ascended Masters to raise them once more into the understanding of the light, which is the only means of release from the darkness of Earth's present chaos.